I think there's one picture of a face that would be etched on, everybody's mind, like it was a Mona Lisa. And it was in Boston in Game 6 when the TV cameras zoomed in on LeBron's face, real tight close-up, and you could just see it. He had his eyes looking up to the corner, and you could see the whites of his eyes, and you saw this face. And it wasn't defiant. It was absolute deep determination, like, get out of my way. It was about as primal a look as I've ever seen, that if he was in the middle of a savannah in Africa, that if I'm a lion, I'm running, I'm going somewhere else, But that picture is what it was about. That's probably as defiant as you're going to get from these guys. And these guys took their hit, Dan. You know what I'm saying? They took their hit, and they weathered the storm, and he ended up getting what he wanted most, in life at this time out of his career. He got a championship, and he's going to get ready to try to win it again and to try to defend it.
I feel like you've seen just about everything that the game has to offer, Pat. Just on that Game 6 in Boston, were you in awe of LeBron James?
Was I what?
Were you in awe of him?
No. No, I was not. I've seen that before. I've seen it in him, and I would say that what he and Dwayne did in Game 4 at Indiana was equivalent. This might have been a bigger stage in a more ominous venue. A real ominous venue that there's no. It's almost like you get strangled going into Boston Garden having to win a Game 6. In a closeout game for them, but. I saw him at the shoot-around that day, and I was walking out of the tunnel, and he and Dwayne were running into the locker room, and he came up behind me, and he put his arm around me and just said hello, and I put my arm around him and just walked about 10 feet, and he looked back at me, and he said, "We're going to be okay," and he just said it in a LeBron James way, but he said it in a way that I had great confidence that we're going to be okay, and because he's such a great player. And that night, I've seen that performance before. I've seen it by a lot of players, big game James Worthy, Kareem. I've seen it by Zoe. I saw it by Tim Hardaway. I've seen it by Magic, Will Chamberlain. I've seen that kind of game before, and that kind of game comes out of absolute, gifted players, who want to win, where the stakes have been raised. And that game that night looked effortless to me. It looked effortless. I mean, he was making shots, and he was driving. He got 15 rebounds. He was making defensive plays. He was running back up and down the court. He had a great pace to him. You could see he was in this rhythm, and it never stopped until the game was won. So I was not in awe of it because I've seen it before.
Right.
I'm just glad he had it at that time,